Summer music in Metro Detroit does not disappoint. Today we are covering 18 shows for July. Subscribe and like the video, and also we're your local neighborhood real estate agents, like your neighborhood Spider-Man, except if you're buying a home here in Metro Detroit. Let's go. Garbage, July 6th at Pine Knob. 30 years later, the band with the hit Only Happy When It Rains is still going strong, even though they did break up for a few years. And fun fact, they got their name Garbage from a friend of theirs that said that their music literally sounded like garbage. They got together in Madison, Wisconsin, although lead singer Shirley Manson is from Scotland. July 8th, Collective Soul at the Music Hall for the Performing Arts is another throwback to 90s rock singles. They have including Where the River Flows, Shine, their biggest hit, Heavy, my favorite song by them, love the sound of it, The World I Know, and December. Coming out of Georgia in 1992, having 10 band members over 31 years, the only constant has been lead singer Ed Roland. Drake, July 8th and 9th, is playing at LCA, and he's not just a meme, like this. Drake's so much more, and an artist that I've got a lot of respect for. Before him, you did have rapping and you had singing that were kind of separate. Lil Wayne and Kanye West kind of dabbled with doing both by the same artist, but before him, no one truly embraced that one person could do both so successfully in the same song. He's an excellent musician and fundamentally changed rap to bring it closer to a hip-hop pop sound, while reducing the objectification of people. And although he's taken a lot of flack about being a rapper from the mean streets of Toronto, he's never actually taken himself too seriously, and I love that. Less Than Jake, July 9th at St. Andrews Hall. Born out of third wave ska and totally bridged the gap between ska and punk in a pop punky way. Not like Green Day, who's more pop punk, this is one of the bands that got us through the move away from Nirvana and grunge, but in a different way. Not on any of my playlists, but I'm definitely going to go back, and hearing them again is definitely an oversight on my part, and I will be adding a couple of their songs to my run list. Tori Amos on July 9th at Meadowbrook. And now at first glance at the show, I was going to skip it, but decided to learn a little bit more about her. She was the youngest person to be admitted into the Peabody Institute at the age of 5 years old with a full ride scholarship, no less. And then she was kicked out for insubordination at the ripe old age of 11. Re-listening to her, she crushes on the piano and has an amazing voice. I'm rethinking going and looking at tickets. Anybody else that's going, let me know in the comments below. Bret Michaels is coming July 13th at Pine Knob. Also born in 1963, just like Tori Amos, but with a way different sound. The lead singer of the band, Poison, is known best for Every Rose Has Its Thorn, and has been ranked by VH1 as the #1 big hair band of the 80s, beating out Rat, Twisted Sister, Def Leppard, Guns N' Roses, Warrant, Bon Jovi, and more. And that's quite the motley crew of bands. Kid Rock is playing July 14th and 15th at Little Caesars Arena, and he's from right here in Romeo, Michigan. He's back for 2 days at Little Caesars Arena, and he broke through from a local act that was mainly a rapper to mainstream with his modified rock rap style in 1998, and then he moved further towards a rap country after that with Devil Without a Cause, Cowboy, and All Summer Long. He's still making music and has been a force on the scene and will be for years to come. This is a show that I'm actually really excited about. Ed Sheeran is coming July 15th to Ford Field, who still looks like he's a 14-year-old redheaded stepchild. I am sorry for all my ginger friends out there. I had to put that one in there. Now, he looks like that kid that wasn't popular in school, but kind of funny with a dry sense of humor, and he is absolutely popular now with a ton of hits, including a collaboration with Detroit's own Eminem with the songs River and Remember the Name. By the age of 27, he stacked up 10 #1 singles in blends of pop, pop punk, rap, pop folk, and soft rock. He's playing with Khaled, who's primarily R&B, hip-hop, pop, and pop soul, and has massive success, and he's only 25. The music is so good, it sounds like something that could be at a beach club in Dubai or in an elevator. July 17th, Alicia Keys is playing LCA, and this is not somebody that I really listened to much in the past, but has a hell of a voice, and scope out I Ain't Got You. Point made. Taking Back Sunday is playing July 18th at Freedom Hill, and this is another throwback to the 90s, 1999 to be exact, with hits that include Q Without the E and Make Damn Sure. These guys have a pop punk sound, and I didn't really get into them back in the late 90s, but I read that the show is going to be pretty alright. July 22nd, Barenaked Ladies is going to be playing at Pine Knob, another artist from Toronto, but way different than Drake. B&L has been going since 1988 and put out top albums like Gordon that had on it If I Had $1 Million and Brian Wilson, and then Rock Spectacle and finally Stunt, which are their 3 most popular albums. These guys are super fun to see live, and I think I've seen them like a dozen times. They interact with the audience and do as much dialogue as they do music, and I'll be at this show once again. Snoop Dogg with Wiz Khalifa and Warren G is playing July 23rd at Pine Knob, and I mean, it's Snoop. What more can be said about him that hasn't been? Though he was never part of NWA, a lot of people think that he was, but another one that was playing the show was Warren G. Regulators? All right, for anybody that finished that sentence, we are all old. Donny Osmond playing July 25th at the Fox Theater, still performing over 50 years now with a career starting in 1971, spanning the Donny and Marie show from 1976 to 1979, music, acting, and lately on Dancing with the Stars. And if you're scoping out this video after the shows happened, somebody comment below how good this show was. I'm actually really curious. Beyonce is coming July 26th to Ford Field, and she hit the scene in the late 90s as the lead singer of Destiny's Child before going as solo. At over 200 million records sold, she is one of the best-selling artists of all time and continually tops charts with singles like Check on It, Irreplaceable, and Break My Soul. She has won 32 Grammy Awards, 26 MTV Awards, which actually doesn't play music anymore, and 17 Soul Train Music Awards. Avenged Sevenfold and Alex is on Fire is playing July 26th at Pine Knob, also known as A7X. Now, this is a really heavy metal band from Cali that formed in '99 with a strong cult following. They've got 8.5 million monthly listeners on Spotify, and I'm not one of them. It's a bit heavy for me. Maybe I'm just getting old and my teenage self is laughing at me as I say this out loud. Bret Young is playing July 27th at Pine Knob. He's a country singer. I'm sure it's going to be great with a lot of like, eh, and a lot of like, if you rewind it backwards, you get your truck back and your dog back and your wife back, like that kind of thing, right? A lot of twang. Fall Out Boy, July 29th at Pine Knob. Now, this show is my personal show of the month. These are one of my all-time favorite bands, both to listen to and see live. Named after a Simpsons character, they formed in 2001 and was originally hardcore punk and kind of as a side project took on writing and performing some pop punk. Definitely not a side hustle anymore. Their first album, Take This to Your Grave, in 2003 got underground success, but in 2005, Under the Cork Tree, their second album had two great singles, Sugar We're Going Down and Dance Dance. These guys are a lot of fun, but like Cake and Away lyrically, both bands have amazing writing and turn of phrase. I will definitely be at this show and it will be front row. Sublime with Rome and Slightly Stoopid is coming July 29th to Freedom Hill. It is definitely time for Sublime's annual pilgrimage to Michigan, and they do come every year at least once, sometimes 3 times. And these guys are just fun. 2 years before taking off, the Dirty Heads opened for Sublime right here at Freedom Hill when nobody knew who the hell they were. And I remember that show and walked out there thinking these guys are gonna be somebody someday. Sadly, today it's Sublime with Rome, as the original lead singer of Sublime died back in 1996. Often characterized as ska punk, but also as reggae rock, they're probably somewhere in between. I feel like they're too low-key for ska punk and too upbeat for reggae. And that is 18 amazing shows coming to Metro Detroit for July. Let me know in the comments which ones you're going to go see, and if you're looking at purchasing a home or getting a home on the market, scope out our reviews. Google the Pertinent Team Reviews. My team would love to be of service to your family. Thank you again and see you on the next video.